Welcome to third session of module 4. This PPT has been exclusively done for the purpose of the education and not for any financial gain. In this session we will continue our discussion on comparison of alternatives. Let us take an example which is uh, many a times many financial institutions follow this method. In this particular problem, we see entirely different aspect of interest factor. An entrepreneur has been offered a loan from the bank that has a varying rate of interest. This is the difference between this problem and the previous problems. Till now we have been discussing all the problems wherein the rate of interest was constant right from day one till the end. Here rate of interest will vary between two periods. It's not that uh, the rate of interest varies every moment. It is as per the assumption that we have made. In the assumption we have made that the rate of interest is constant. Here also rate of interest is constant between two periods, say between first year to second year or second to fourth year, like that. So between that particular period the variation of interest rate will not take place. So it is as per the assumption that we have made. So condition is not overruled, condition is still met. A loan has to be cleared in three installment. First at the end of second year an amount of rupees 2 lakhs, second at the end of fourth year an amount of 6 lakhs, and the last at the end of 6 years an amount of rupees 6 lakhs. The rate of interest for first 2 years is 4%, next 2 years is 6%, and the last 2 years is 8%. Calculate the loan owed. Again, whenever you get a problem, you have to identify what is the given data and what is to be found out. Okay. Now, an amount of 2 lakh at the end of second year, 6 lakh at the end of fourth year, and 10 lakh at the end of 6 years is given, and calculate the loan owed. When do we take the loan? We take the loan at the beginning of the term. That means at t is equal to 0. So what is given? F is given and P is to be found out. Let us see the cash flow diagram. How does it appear? First draw the timeline, 6 years of timeline. First we have 2 lakhs to be paid at the end of second year, 6 lakhs at the end of fourth year, and 10 lakhs at the end of 6 years. Since we are paying the installment, all these are negative terms and hence below the horizontal line. And P is required. Loan owed. When do we take the loan? We take the loan at t is equal to 0. This is t is equal to 0. That is why P has to be calculated. In other terms, all these F should be converted into P at t is equal to 0. The difference is I is 4% up to second year. Between second and fourth it is 6%. Between fourth and sixth it is 8%. How do we take care of varying interest rate? Let us see. Present worth is equal to minus 2 lakhs. That has to be converted into P using the factor P by F comma 4 comma 2. When you say that it is 4 comma 2, this F1 will be converted to P at t is equal to 0, which is at a distance of 2 years, hence n is equal to 2, and the interest rate between second year and the 0th year, it is 4% constant throughout, and hence 4% has been included here. So this first F1 is done. Now let us come to F2. What is this 6 lakhs? Multiplied by, if I say P by F comma 6 comma y it is 6 comma 2 and y 4 comma 2, let me explain that. If I say P by F comma 6 comma 4 here, if I write 4 here, what does that mean? 6 lakh will be converted into P at t is equal to 0 at a rate of interest of 6% for 4 years. Is it constant for all the 4 years? No, it is not constant for all the 4 years. If I write P by F comma 4 comma 4, what does that mean? 6 lakhs will be converted at a rate of interest of 4% for 4 years. Is that correct? No, that is also not correct, because between second and fourth year it is 6% and 0 to second year it is 4%. That's why what we need to do is we need to do it in 2 steps. First step, what we do, first we convert this 6 lakh at t is equal to 4 to a value at t is equal to 2, then to p at t is equal to 0. We do it in 2 steps. First step, we convert this 6 lakh at t is equal to 2 from t is equal to 4. Between 4 and 2 there is a constant rate of interest of 6%. That's why I use the factor value P by F comma 6 comma 2. Now what happens? This particular factor will convert this 6 lakh to a value at t is equal to 2. Then what do? I again multiply it by the factor P by F comma 4 comma 2, because from second year to 0th year I have the rate of interest of 4%. Hence I multiply it by P by F comma 4 comma, what is the distance? 2 years. That's why n is equal to 2. Now what has happened? 6 lakh has been converted into P at t is equal to 0. So F2 is over. Now come to F3, 10 lakh. Same procedure is followed for F3 also. How do I encounter this? See, first I have to convert this 10 lakh at t is equal to 6 to t is equal to 4, because between 6 and 4 it is constant, 4 and 2 it is constant, 2 and 0 it is constant. If I make it as, say, 10 lakh multiplied by P by F comma 8 comma 6, if I write straight away as 6, what does that mean? 6 lakh is being converted at the rate of interest of 8% for 6 years. Is it 8% constant till 0th year? Which is not true. Again, hence we follow the same methodology what we did for F2. First we will convert this 10 lakh at t is equal to 6 to t is equal to 4, then to t is equal to 2, then to t is equal to 0. When I convert from 6 to 4, I use the rate of interest of 8%. From 4 to 2, I use the rate of interest of 6%. From 2 to 0, I use the rate of interest of 4%. In 3 stages, I convert this 6 lakhs into P at t is equal to 0. First stage, I use the interest factor, interest rate of 8% for 2 years. Next stage, interest rate of 6% for 2 years. Now it will come to t is equal to 2. Then I use the factor P by F at the rate of interest of 4% for 2 years. When I multiply it in 3 stages like this, I convert this 10 lakhs to P is equal to P at t is equal to 0. So now this is also being done. Substitute the values from a factor table, and we get the value as PW as 13,84,123. Let me remind you one particular thing here. Don't forget to substitute the value of p by f comma 4 comma 2, p by f comma 6 comma 2, p by f comma 4 comma 2, and all these factor values must be substituted here. I have skipped that step because we have been solving many problems, and in order to save time I have skipped that step. But in examination you are not supposed to skip that step. You need to write the factor values as the second next step and then the final answer. So what is the loan owed? The loan owed is 13,84,123, and again write that answer also, because the question asked is calculate the loan owed. Hence the loan owed is 13,84,123. That sentence will give you 1 extra marks. Okay, so this is a problem which had varying rate of interest between a certain period of time. This is very important. Many a times this problem has been asked in the examination, and this is very relevant from your future point of view also, because when you take loan, many financial institutions offer such kind of varying rate of interest between two periods. Okay, now let us discuss payback comparison method. What is this payback comparison method? Payback comparison method gives you the time at which the investment done can be recovered. Payback period is the time period that gives me the number of years required for the investment to be recovered back. Okay, how do I calculate that? I calculate that using the formula required investment, or the net investment done, or the first cost that is done, divided by annual receipts minus annual disbursements. That is the net profit. The denominator contains the net profit, or the net annual savings, or the operating advantages per year. Many terms are used. Okay, so first cost divided by the net annual savings, that is another formula used. But what is required for you to remember is that total investment made, okay, initially, if it has any salvage value, you have to deduct from it. That's what I have indicated as the third method of calculating the payback period. The net investment made, that's what we call it as the net investment made. Net investment is nothing but the initial investment minus the salvage value, divided by total receipts minus total disbursements. That is the net annual savings, or the net annual profit. Normally we call it as net annual savings. Let us take an example. An asset can be purchased for rupees 2 lakhs and the annual savings are rupees 50,000 and the annual maintenance cost of rupees 10,000. While a similar asset can be considered for purchasing at rupees 2.5 lakhs, the annual savings are given, maintenance cost of estimated as given. Compare the alternatives using the payback period method. Okay, let us calculate the payback period of the first asset. Initial investment divided by net annual savings. What is initial investment? Can be purchased at 2 lakh. Since there is no salvage value involved here, we need not have to deduct anything from the initial investment. If there were salvage value involved, then we should have deducted that salvage value from the initial investment. Okay, so initial investment is equal to 2 lakhs divided by net savings. What is the net savings? Annual savings of 50,000, but the annual cost is 10,000. So net savings is equal to 50,000 minus 10,000. Just simplify it and you will get the payback period as 5 years. So follow the similar procedure for the second alternative. Payback period is equal to initial investment of 2,50,000 divided by savings of 65,000 minus maintenance cost of 12,000. Substitute the values, simplify it, and we get it as 4.71 years. So which has a lesser payback period? Second alternative has the lesser payback period, and hence we prefer asset 2 over asset 1 because asset 2 has a lesser payback period. This is how we compare the alternatives using payback period. What are the advantages of payback period? It's simple, quick to calculate, easy to understand. There is no complex calculations involved. There is no need for the cash flow diagram. Measure of time required to return on original investment. I can get a very clear picture of when am I going to recover the investment done. So it gives me a quick picture of every asset, whether to go for that or not to go for that. But the disadvantages are it does not consider the economic life of the investment. So it assumes the amount to be constant throughout, which is not true. Discounting and compounding is not considered. So it doesn't give me the real picture. And total return on investment is also not considered. Simple payback does not consider the time value of money. Of course, time value of money is not considered. As I've already said, discounting and compounding concepts are not a part of this method. And hence it's very vague, ambiguous. Whenever I want a very layman's level of comparison of alternatives, I follow payback period. Let us consider the annual worth comparison method. Till now we have been discussing two methods of comparison of alternatives. First one was the present worth method and the second one was the future worth method. In present worth method, what we did was we converted every cash flow into its present worth. In other terms, we calculated the discounted value of all the cash flows. In future worth, we converted every cash flow into its future worth. In other words, we calculated the compounded sum of each and every cash flow. This is the third method, annual worth comparison method. In this method, what we do is that we convert every cash flow into its basic equivalent uniform annual worth. If it is P, I convert that into A. If it is F, I convert that into A. If it is A, I retain it as A. That is the layman's level of understanding the annual worth comparison method. Situations assumed for present worth comparison hold good for equivalent annual worth comparison as well. Between six conditions we had assumed, those six conditions hold good here as well. Consideration of asset life. What are the different types of the asset life? Let us just discuss. First one is the ownership life or the service life. What does that mean? It is the total span of time that the owner will retain that particular asset. Okay, and for his financial gain or to show the financial implication, owner may continue to use that particular asset. Sometimes what happens, even if the asset is not giving me anything, just for the pride I may continue to use that. For example, say Bajaj Chetak scooter, its mileage is very less, even then I continue to use. SD Road King, again its mileage is very less, but as an owner I continue to use because it's a pride thing for me to use Bajaj Chetak SD Road King, because they're all one time emperors of the road. So it's a pride thing for me. I am proud of my vehicles. I continue to use whether it gives me any returns or not. I'm not interested. That is why it is called as ownership life or service life. Okay, and it continues as long as he decides to continue. Ends when the asset stops causing cost and in fact has no continuing financial impact. That normally the costs will be more than the benefits in this particular ownership life. Accounting life. What is accounting life? Is a life expectancy based on the primary bookkeeping and tax consideration and may not be the usefulness of the asset. Economic desirability, all those things are not a particular point in accounting life. Economic life, this is very very important. See, economic life is entirely different compared to ownership life. See, in ownership life I said owner may continue to use that particular asset whether it is economical to use or not, because it's a pride thing for him. In accounting life I have to maintain the bookkeeping just for the reason I have not disposed that asset off. Okay, many a times factories may continue to use the old lathes and other things even though they are not using, it's an asset, they have not yet disposed it, they continue to show that in their bookkeeping or in their account balance sheet, they continue to indicate that. Economic life is entirely different from these two. I use the asset as long as it is economical for me. That time period is termed as economic life. So as soon as the costs exceed the returns, the economic life of the asset ends. Now the onus is on the owner whether to continue to use it or not to continue the usage of the asset. But its economic life will end as soon as the costs overtake the benefits. Let us start with some examples on annual worth comparison of alternatives method. There is an alternative one, initial purchase cost is given, some maintenance cost is given, expected salvage value is given, useful life is given. If you see this, this is the first problem that we discussed. Same problem we have discussed for future worth, and we have taken the same example for annual worth. Why I have considered the same example for all the three methods? Just to make you understand one particular case can be discussed in any of the method. There is no rule that as the cases change I have to change the method of comparison. No, same case can be dealt with any of these three methods, either PW method or FW method or AW method. Okay, alternative 2, initial purchase cost of 2 lakhs, operating cost of 35,000, salvage value of 70,000, equal useful life of 5 years. Okay, compute the equivalent uniform worth of the alternatives at the rate of interest of 10% and find out which alternative is more economical. First, let us identify the given values. P is equal to 3 lakh, A1 is equal to 20,000, A2 is equal to 50,000, F is equal to 1,25,000. And how does the cash flow diagram appears? Cash flow diagram appears like this. Same cash flow diagram, there is no difference at all. The cash flow diagram that I had written for the first problem under PW, first problem under FW, same cash flow diagram holds good here as well. But what is the difference here? That comes now. Here I am converting every cash flow into its annual worth. In the present worth, what had I done? I had converted everything into its PW at t is equal to 0. In FW, I had converted everything into FW at t is equal to 5 in this case. Here I am converting everything, every cash flow into its equivalent annual worth. Okay, let us calculate that. AW1 is equal to minus 3 lakh. What is this 3 lakh? It is P. Convert that into A using the factor A by P comma I comma N minus 20,000. What is this 20,000? It is already A. Retain it as A. Next A2 50,000. What is that? That is also A. Retain it as A. So this is over, this is over, this is over. What else remains? F 1,25,000. 1,25,000 F has to be converted into A. Which factor do I use? I use the factor A by F. F needs to be converted into A using the factor. What will be N? What will be I? I is already given as 10%. N, whenever A comes into picture, I have always said count the number of flows, substitute the values, and get the factor values from the factor table, substitute them here, and we get the answer. AW is equal to 28665. Okay, it is cost because I get the negative answer. Let us get the alternative 2 details. Initial cost of 2 lakh, initial cost means P, annual income of 35,000, and the annual, I mean, it is annual maintenance cost of 35,000, and the annual revenue of 45,000, and the salvage value of 70,000. The cash flow diagram we have already drawn, right? Indicate all the cash flows, convert them into A. This 2 lakh will be converted into A using the factor A by P. 35,000 is already A, retain it as A. 45,000 is also A, retain it as A. Salvage value F, convert it into A using the factor A by F. Substitute the values from the factor tables, and we get the answer as minus 31,294. Which is better? Alternative 1 is better because it shows the lower negative equivalent uniform annual worth. So whichever may be the method we have used, in all the 3 methods we selected alternative 1 only because it burdened me lesser. It had the lesser cost, whether it is lesser present worth or lesser future worth or lesser annual cost, whatever it is. In all the 3 cases I had benefit for alternative 1, and hence I have selected alternative 1. So we can observe that irrespective of the method used, the selection will not change. So I can use either alternative 1 or alternative, I mean to say, I can use present worth method or future worth method or annual worth method. Let us take the second example. Material supply contractor has 2 options. Company 1, company 2 to purchase a tractor for the construction material. Let us see the cost details of company 1, company 2, and what is required. We have to select the best equivalent or best company tractor at I is equal to 12%. Let us discuss alternative by alternate. So first, company's tractor has the initial purchase cost of 20 lakhs, annual operating cost. Let us see the cash flow diagram, how it appears. First, see initial purchase cost. What is that initial purchase cost? It is P. Indicate that at T is equal to 0. First is done. Annual operating cost, including labor and maintenance, rupees 50,000. So it is only one cash component is given, so it cannot be gradient. So we have to make sure that it's not gradient. So it is uniform throughout. So starts from first year and goes up to 10th year because the useful life is 10 years. Okay, and then maintenance cost is done. What else then? Cost of new set of tires to be replaced at the end of year 3 and 6 and 9 at 1,10,000 each. Okay, so at the end of year 3, 1,10,000, at 6, 1,10,000, at 9, 1,10,000. Indicate that. So at t is equal to 3, t is equal to 6, and t is equal to 9. What else remains? Salvage value of 5,20,000. Salvage value will obviously occur at the end, that is at t is equal to 10. So it is a salvage value, that means it comes to us, hence it is positive. All other things, whether it is labor or maintenance cost or cost of the new tires and the tractor cost, for all these things I have to pay, and hence they are all negative. Now let us see the solution. P is equal to minus 20 lakhs, A is equal to minus 5,000, F1 is equal to minus 1,10,000, F2 is equal to minus 1,10,000, F3 is equal to 1 lakh minus 1,10,000. And let us convert everything into A. Just have your attention here. See, 20 lakhs, what is it? It is P. Convert that into A using the factor A by P comma 12 comma 10, because it has to be spread evenly for 10 years. Okay, so whenever A comes into picture, I have been telling you that count the number of flows. Now how many flows are required? 10 flows are required, because it has to be uniformly spread for 10 years. Hence n must be taken as 10. Next, this 50,000, it's already A, retain it as A, there is no confusion in it. Now just observe what happens to this 1,10,000. You have to be very careful here. See, now if I use what is this 1,10,000? It is F. If I use the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10, that is the common mistake most of the students do. See, for this 1,10,000, I use the factor, say A by F comma, what is the interest rate? Interest rate is 12%, say I comma n. What should be n? So I have told that it has to be converted into 10 equal years. Okay, if I put say 10, is that correct? We have to analyze. See, now whenever you have a cash flow, if you treat that as P and if you convert that into A, it flows forward. If you have any cash flow as F and if you convert that into A, it flows backward. See, this 5,20,000, I straight away used the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10. Why? It was at the end. And whenever I convert that into F, whenever that F is converted into A, it flows backwards for 10 equal uniform payments. That's okay. So if I used say 10 A by F, what will happen? If you see, F is being converted into A, so it will flow backwards. Are there 10 years here? There are no 10 years. Okay, you may say that, sir, I will treat it as P. Okay, fine. Treat it as P, A by P, comma, interest rate 12, N say 10. Where will it go? It has to go forward. So it is at t is equal to 3. It has to go forward for 10 years. What will happen? It go up to 13th year. Can I do that? No. Either this is not possible nor this is possible. So what should I do? Please remember, whenever you have a cash flow at the mid of the cash flow diagram, and if you want to convert that cash flow staying at the mid of the cash flow diagram into its equivalent annual cost or equivalent annual worth or into A, straight away it cannot be done. It has to be converted either to P at t is equal to 0 or to F at t is equal to 10. That means either I have to bring it to the beginning and make it P and then convert it into A, or I push it to the end, make it F and then convert that into A using the factor A by F or A by P. So if I push it to t is equal to 0, it becomes P, and then I can use the factor A by P comma 12 comma 10. If I convert that into F by pushing it to the end, then I can use the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10. Without doing that, if I straight away use the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10 or A by P comma 12 comma 10, it is wrong. Keep that in your mind. Is that clear? So whenever you have a cash flow at the mid of the cash flow diagram, neither at t is equal to 0 nor at t is equal to n, then it has to be either converted into P and then to A, or converted into F and then to A. Both are acceptable. Okay. Here what have I done? I have converted this 1,10,000 into P. So I have treated this as F. I have converted that into P first. So from t is equal to 3, it came to t is equal to 0 by using the factor P by F comma 12 comma 3. And then I use the factor A by P comma 12 comma 10. Now it is acceptable because this particular factor will pull this 1,10,000 to P at t is equal to 0. It has come to one end now. Once it reaches the end, then A by P is applicable. So I applied A by P comma 12 comma 10 without any problem. So this is done. Then let us come to the next 1,10,000. Where is it? It is at t is equal to 6. Again it is at middle of the cash flow diagram. You cannot apply A by F or A by P straight away. Same argument what we discussed till now holds good for this also. Hence first convert that into P at t is equal to 0. So what is the gap? The gap is 6 years. So I use the factor P by F comma 12 comma 6 to convert this 1,10,000 to P at t is equal to 0, and then I use the factor A by P comma 12 comma 10 to make it equivalent annual cost. The second 1,10,000 is done. The third 1,10,000, where is it? It is also at t is equal to 9, which is not at the end. So what I need to do? Again I will convert that into P at t is equal to 0 and then use the factor A by P, or I can use F by P comma 12 comma 1 and then A by F comma 12 comma 10. That is also quite possible. That you can take it as an assignment and try. Here I have used P by F factor. Instead of that, you can use F by P and then A by F factor. You can take it as an assignment and try that, and you will see that the answer will not change. Okay. So the third 1,10,000, first I convert that into P at t is equal to 0 by using the factor P by F comma 12 comma 9 and then A by P comma 12 comma 10. What else remains? The salvage value 5,20,000. It is at the end. There is no problem for me. I can straight away convert that into A by using the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10. So remember this point. Once again I am repeating. Whenever you have a cash flow at the middle of the cash flow diagram, you cannot convert that into A straight away, because it is a single payment occurring at the mid of the cash flow diagram, not at the ends. Okay, so whenever you have single payments in between the ends, then either convert them into P at t is equal to 0 and then use the factor a by p comma I comma n, or push it to end at t is equal to n and then use the factor a by f comma I comma n. This is very, very important. Keep that in your mind. Now substitute the values from the factor table and get the answer. The answer is minus 405104. It is negative. It is equivalent annual cost. Okay. Let us see the second case. Tractor with the initial purchase cost of so and whatever all the given. Let us draw the cash flow diagram. It also has the timeline of 10 years. There is no doubt, there is no confusion here. Draw the horizontal line of 10 years first. Then the initial purchase cost means it is P. Draw it at t is equal to 0. Annual operating cost of 27,000. Draw a uniform cost of 27,000 up to 10 years. And then what its tires needs to be replaced at the end of year 4 and year 8 at 1,20,000. So indicate that at t is equal to 4 and t is equal to 8. Salvage value of 7 lakh. Salvage value obviously occurs at the end. T is equal to 10. And since it is an income for me, I will show it as positive flow. All other things, whether it is the cost of the tire or the labor cost or the operating cost or the initial purchase cost, they are all costs, indicate it as negative flow. The cash flow diagram is ready. Now let us see the solution of this particular cash flow diagram, how it appears. So P is equal to minus 22 lakhs, A1 is equal to minus 27,000, F1 at t is equal to 4 minus 1,20,000, F2 at t is equal to 8 minus 1,20,000, and salvage value of plus 7 lakhs. Again, let us convert everything into A. 22 lakhs, where is it situated? It is at t is equal to 0. It is at the end, so there is no problem for me. I can straight away use the factor a by p comma 12 comma 10. So this is done. P is done. Next, 27,000. What is this 27,000? Equivalent annual cost already. It is A already. Written it as A. There is no need for any further conversion. Next is 1,20,000. Where is it situated? At t is equal to 4. We have been discussing this case till now. So whenever you have a cash flow in between the ends, you cannot convert it as it is. What you need to do, first convert that into P and then into A. That's what I have done here. First I have converted that into P at t is equal to 0 by using the factor P by F comma 12 comma 4 and then A by P comma 12 comma 10. So this is done. Next, 1,20,000 at t is equal to 8. It is also in between the ends. It is not at the ends. So you cannot convert it as it is. First convert that into P at t is equal to 0 using the factor P by F comma 12 comma 8. And then convert that into A using the factor A by P comma 12 comma 10. This is done. What else remains? Salvage value remains positive plus, what is it? F. So it is at the end. There is no problem for me. I can convert that straight away using the factor A by F comma 12 comma 10. So as long as any cash flow is at the end, either at t is equal to 0 or at t is equal to n, I can use the factors a by p comma I comma n or a by f comma I comma n. If it is at t is equal to 0, I use the factor a by p comma I comma n. If it is at t is equal to n, that is at end, I treat it as f and I use the factor a by f comma 12 comma 10 or a by f comma I comma n. Okay, let us substitute the values from the factor tables, and I get the answer as minus 398,577, which is better. Company tractor 2 shows lower negative equivalent annual cost. Hence, company 2's tractor is preferred over company 1's tractor. So this last sentence is again important because that will give you 1 mark. Let us take another example. Equipment A, initial purchase cost, all the values are given. Let me not waste my time by reading these values. Let me get into cash flow diagram straight away. This also has a useful life of 12 years. Both the assets have useful life of 12 years. This is the comparison of alternatives of equal lives. Let us get the cash flow diagram of first alternative. Let us analyze the cash flow diagram. Initial purchase cost of 50 lakhs. Where will it come? At t is equal to 0. Done. Annual operating cost of rupees 60,000 at the end of year 1 and increase by rupees 3,000 in the subsequent years till the end of year of its useful life. What is the useful life? 12 years. So time span is 12 years. That is already done. So see here, annual operating cost of 60,000 in the first year, which increases by 3,000. There are two cost components involved. So it cannot be A. It has to be G. Okay. So first 60,000 at the year 1, which increases by 3,000 every year. That is indicated. Annual income of 7,70,000. See here, there is only one cost involved. So it's not G, it has to be A, uniform throughout, starting from first year till 12th year. Cost of one-time major repair is equal to rupees 2 lakh at the end of year 8. Okay, so at T is equal to 8, introduce one-time major repair of this particular equipment at the cost of rupees 2 lakhs and the salvage value of 14 lakhs at the end of year 12. All these things are included. Now let us solve the problem. First draw the cash flow diagram. What are all there? First one, P is equal to minus 50 lakhs. Then A1 is equal to minus 60,000. G is equal to 3,000. F1 at T is equal to 8. That is 20 lakhs. And A2 is equal to 2 lakhs. It's not 20 lakhs. It is 2 lakhs. A2 is equal to 77,000. That is the annual income. And S is equal to salvage value, that is 14 lakhs. How do I convert? As usual, P will be converted into A using the factor A by P comma 9.5% comma 12 years. The rate of interest is observed as 9.5%. Hence, I took it as a 9.5 comma 12%, 12 years. Okay. Then 60,000. What is the 60,000? It is throughout. Okay. It is throughout this from starting from first year to 12 years. So it is already A. Retain it as A. Now let us come to this G. Minus 3,000 multiplied by A by G comma 9.5 comma 12. The argument what we had done in the previous case, how many times G is there? 11 times G is there plus the initial amount. 11 plus 1, N will be 12. Okay. So A by G comma 9.5 comma 12. There is no need for converting that into P and then to A, because I have a factor A by G. G can be converted directly into A using the factor A by G comma I comma N. I have used that factor here. Then this 2 lakh, which is in between the ends, what we need to do? First we need to convert that into P and then to A. That's what I have done here. P by F comma 9.5 comma 8. and then to A using the factor A by P comma 9.5 comma 12, and then 7,70,000, which is the annual income, and then the salvage value. Annual income, it's already A, there is no need to convert that again. Salvage value, it is at the end, there is no problem for me, I can straight away use the factor A by F comma 9.5 comma 12. So this is also done. All factors have been taken, substitute the values from factor table and get the answer as 34306. Okay, let us consider the second alternative. This is the cash flow diagram, and these are the cash details. 46 lakh at t is equal to 0, and then operating cost of 75,000. Throughout there is only one cash component involved. See here, there is only one cash component involved, so it has to be A, it cannot be G. And annual income of 7,10,000 for first 5 years and increases by 5,000 in the subsequent years till the end of useful life. This is a little bit different. For first 5 years it is 7,10,000 up to t is equal to 5. Starting from t is equal to 6, it increases by 5,000 per year. So it doesn't start from second year itself, it starts increasing from year 6 onwards, okay, till 12th year. It also has a useful life of 12 years, and the salvage value is 12 lakh. Indicate that at the end, that is at t is equal to 12. This is the cash flow diagram. Okay, and what did we have? We left this one, cost of one time major repair, that is 2,30,000 at t is equal to 6. So at t is equal to 6, indicate that as the cost of one time major repair. This completes the cash flow diagram. Let us get the solution for the alternative 2. This is the cash flow diagram that we have already drawn earlier. Given data, yes, 46 lakhs, A1 75,000, G is equal to 5,000, S is equal to 12 lakhs, and F1 at T is equal to 6, that is 2,30,000, and A2, that is the income 7,10,000. Let us start converting each and every value. Let us start with P. What is it? 46 lakhs. Where is it situated? Just check whether it is at the end. Yes, it is at the end because it is the initial purchase cost. Hence it has to be situated at t is equal to 0. Since it is at the end, I can straight away use the factor A by P comma I comma N. I is 9.5% and N should be for 12 years because the timeline is 12 years. So whatever the cash I have to convert everything into equivalent annual cost or equivalent annual benefits for 12 years. So I will use the factor A by P comma 9.5 comma 12. What is next? Cost of 75,000. This is already equivalent annual cost. Already A. Retain it as A. There is no need for any further conversion. So P is done. Equivalent annual cost is done. What else next? 2,30,000. What is that? Major repair at t is equal to 6. Where is it occurring? It is in between the ends. So since it is in between the ends, we have been discussing that it cannot be converted into its A straight away. Either it has to be converted into P and then to A using the factor A by P comma I comma N, or convert that into F at t is equal to N and then convert it into its A by using the factor A by F comma I comma N. So I have been converting that into P because it is convenient for me, that's all. So first I will convert that into p at t is equal to 0 from t is equal to 6 by using the factor p by f comma 9 comma 6, and then I will convert that into equivalent annual cost by using the factor a by p comma 9.5 comma 12. Instead of these two, you can use the factors f by p comma 9.5 comma 6, then a by f comma 9.5 comma 12. You can take it as a homework and you can check it. Okay, that is done. Then what else remains? This 7,10,000. 7,10,000 is uniform throughout, so it is already a. Retain it as a. So that 7,10,000 is done. What else remains then? G. G has not yet been converted. What is G? G is 5,000. Now this is very critical now. Earlier G started from year 2, so I could convert that straight away into its A because the first payment was on year 1. But here the difference is it starts from year 6 onwards. Whenever G starts from in between the ends, like see, if it doesn't start from year 2, then you cannot convert that into A straight away. Remember that point. If G starts from t is equal to 2 or year 2 and its first payment is on year 1, then I can straight away convert that G into A. If it doesn't start from year 2, if it starts somewhere else, then it cannot be converted into A straight away. How do I solve this issue? First, what I need to do, first I convert this G into its P. How? Count the number of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 G's. Okay. So when I convert this G into P, 7 plus 1, N has to be considered as 8. And where will its P be situated? Its P will be situated at t is equal to 4. Because I have to consider the first payment at t is equal to 5. So first payment will be at t is equal to 5. First G will be at t is equal to 6, and it continues like that. So how many flows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hence N is equal to 8. Okay. When I convert this A into, I mean to say this G into P, its P will be situated at 1 year before the first payment. Same argument. So first payment is at t is equal to 5. Its P will be situated at t is equal to 4. Now this P, interim P, which is at t is equal to 4, has to be converted into t is equal to 0. Right? Using the factor p by f comma 9 comma 4. What did I do now? First I converted this G which was flowing in between or at the not at the ends to its P at t is equal to 4 and then to P at t is equal to 0. Now I can use the factor a by p comma 9 comma 5 9.5 comma 12. Is that point clear? Let me repeat again. See, this 5,000 doesn't start from t is equal to 2. Hence, it has to be converted into P first using the factor P by G comma I comma N. Then its P will be at t is equal to 4 because its first payment starts at t is equal to 5. Whenever you convert G into P, its P will be situated 1 year before the first payment. So it will be at t is equal to 4. Then convert that into P at T is equal to 0 using the factor P by F comma 9.5 comma 4, and then convert that into equivalent annual cost by using the factor A by P comma 9.5 comma 12. That is done. G is taken care. What else remains? The salvage value of 12 lakhs. It's at the end. No issues for me. I can straight away use the factor A by F comma I comma N. I is 9.5, N is 12. Apply that. It will get converted into A for 12 years. Substitute the values. I have not done that here, but don't forget, you have to substitute the values in order to get full marks. I get 23,207. Which is better? Because A is better because it exhibits a better equivalent uniform annual worth. Both of them are positive. That's why I speak in terms of annual worth. If both of them are negative, I speak it in terms of annual cost. Since here both of them are positive, I speak in terms of annual worth. A's annual worth is better than B's annual worth, and hence equipment A is selected, or equipment A is the most economical alternative. So this is very, very critical. Many critical issues have been considered in this session. Go through again and again in order to understand the concept very clearly. Thank you.